So, where I leave off, I was talking about does okay, I remember. So it's a little jarring at first, it's kind of being plopped into the middle of something that's going on. A heist's gone wrong, heist's gone good, bad. You're not really sure. You just know she's on the run from the cops. But England trickles in enough detail into the story to give you insight into what this world is about, what the world, how it functions, by showing the reader how magic kind of works here, which I thought was great. If you don't want to overload the reader ever with too much story building, because then it kind of takes away from the characterization. What you want to do is just trickle it in. You don't need to just plop everything in there at once. You just have to trickle it in. Let the tiniest of details go so far. And I learned this a lot in my creative writing class. I went to Emerson College up in Massachusetts. I do have a BA in writing, literature, and publishing. So I went to a lot of creative writing classes. You're writing stories and then you're giving critiques. So you're learning a lot. And I try to use a lot of what I learned in what I do with my reviews. And what I learned is those tiny little details, they go so far. And that's what makes it so great. Because she uses tiny details, but they are very impactful details. They start from the beginning. You get details, you get insights, you get backstory, you get history, you get everything. But it's all throughout the story. And that's why it's so good. That's why the world building works so good to captivate the reader. Sorry, my hair is kind of driving me nuts. It's at that length that I hate. Not long enough for me to do anything with it. Too short that I can't really do anything to it that doesn't even look cute. But that's neither here nor there. It's not important for this. Back to Spellhacker. The world building, I can't stress this enough. The world building was incredible. It worked. And it coincides with how the character development grows. The character development is amazing. I love it. The characters are so flawed. And, it's a little ironic that I read this novel right after Infinity Sun, because I feel like this novel, everything I love about this novel is what I didn't like about Infinity Sun. I thought Infinity Sun, you can check out my previous video. I thought Infinity Sun lacked world building. This novel excelled at world building. I don't want to throw any writers down or anything. Silvera's contemporary work is amazing. His language is amazing. I just think he lost himself a little bit out of his element with the fantasy. Whereas M.K. England, I think she has a strong grasp on what she wants to do with her story. She knows this world. She focuses in on grounding the reader in the world so that we can visualize it. And then she does the same thing with the characters. And that's what I loved about it. That's what I took away from this novel. Her heart, her soul. I really hope I'm using the correct pronoun for M.K. England. I didn't do enough backstory or enough research on the author. So if I screw up your pronoun, I do apologize. But I thought England was great in how they did the story, how they structured it, how they structured the representation of the non-binary characters. And that's another thing that I think is great about this novel. It does representation so well. It's great how it functions, and it's great how it builds the story and how it builds these characters. Because Diz, there are times when you're gonna not like Diz, but you still like her. She's so flawed. She's a little broken. She has this hole inside her heart because in a blink of an eye, she lost her parents. So now she's afraid of letting people in. She's afraid of that family dynamic and this new family that she has, that she's made on her own. She's afraid of losing them again. So she's willing to do whatever to sort of keep them, but it ends up blowing up in her face, quite literally. It blows up in her face. So now she has to fix it. She has to undo it. And it goes into this giant adventure of it. It creates an action-packed plot. There's lots of tension with the characters, the dynamics. They do get some struggle in there, but Diz develops. She grows. You see her grow through her narrative, and you understand her more and more and more as the story progresses. You understand her pain. You understand where she's coming from. You understand Diz, and she doesn't come off as standoffish. She's just a girl. She's a lonely girl, a lonely character who's just a little broken and a little sad, and all she wants is to not lose the people she cares about. And that's what I thought was great. I thought that was great about her. And it really resonates with me, her pain. Not that I've ever really experienced losing people, but if I were to lose someone, oh wow. Whew, I could see where she's coming from. And everyone else has sort of developed and grown up a little bit more than her, but she hasn't. And I mean, I can't really stress it enough. I really don't want to be repetitive. I feel like I'm being repetitive. I am being repetitive. Let's not sugarcoat it. I am being repetitive. She's a good character. She's drastically flawed. And it's a great band of misfits thrown together. You've got the two that can do magic, one inherently, one with one who has to use special equipment to use magic. And then you've got the brawn, and then you've got Diz, who's the brain. It's a great blend of characters, great representation, amazing dynamics. You believe that these are a family unit. You believe them. You believe it. So you can see where Diz comes from. And believability, making the reader believe in the characters, grounding them in the story and the world. That's what makes a good story. And I have to say, I'm probably a new fan of England, and I definitely am going to go check out her previous book, The Disasters. I already have it. I own it. But I gotta get through this pile of arcs that I've got sitting on my desk and on my tablet. I get a lot of advanced readers copies from publishers. So, gotta get to them. So when I have the time again, I will definitely read The Disasters. I know I have it in one of my libraries, either my Kindle, Audible, or Nook library. Heck, it might even be in my Script account. Who knows? But I know it's somewhere. I have it somewhere. I've seen it in one of my libraries. So I'm definitely going to check it out now because I'm a huge fan of England. Her language, her structure, the way she focuses in on world building, the way she fleshes out those character dynamics and the personalities to make them so likable and understandable and relatable is what has captured my attention. And I really hope it captures yours. And I really think, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, definitely go check it out. Especially if you love Final Fantasy VII. If you love Final Fantasy VII, you're going to see a lot of elements of that game in this novel. I don't know if England's played the game. Maybe she's heard about it. Who knows? But there are a lot of elements that are so similar that she just kind of heightens them to make this book her own and to make it unique and really captivating. So check it out. Go to your local library. Buy it. Please support your local bookseller. I know everyone wants to just kind of go to Amazon, but please support your local bookseller, whether it's Barnes & Noble or even an indie bookstore that's just down the street. So please, buy the book, support the author, leave a review, let me know what you think of the novel in the comment section below. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let's have a discussion. So, on that note, have a nice day. Thank you again for joining me on Sin's Workshop, and I hope you subscribe.